What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the LFC Transfer Room YouTube channel. I'm joined once again by my main man, JT, Jacob Tanswell. How are you, mate?
I'm good, Chris. It's been a long time since I've been on here, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. It was before the Southampton game, wasn't it? And Taki scored, which is unreal. But yeah, so we're going to be chatting Takumi Minamino today. Obviously, he's just had a loan spell at Southampton, the club that you love and have covered this season. First of all, mate, when you heard that Taki was going to join Southampton on loan, what was your immediate reaction?
I was surprised because it was deadline day, wasn't it? And at Southampton were in the market for the window for a right back or a left back. And then when, I got told, there's a possibility of Minamino coming, I was just like, hold on. I thought we were going to Liverpool to try and sign Nico Williams. That's the whole point of it. But Southampton in the end decided to go for Takumi Minamino. Obviously, Ralph Hasenhüttl was a massive fan of him. He's long been on Southampton's radar. And I was excited, but it was a position that Southampton are relatively well stocked in. So it's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, and he obviously had a really, really good start, high-profile start. He scored against Newcastle and Chelsea, I believe.
Yeah.
What was your first impressions, really, when he arrived through the door?
Well, it's difficult for him because I think he signed, and then the next day, Southampton lost 9-0 to Man United. They were going through an absolute, hellacious beating of a time. Every single game they were getting, overran, outworked. So it's obviously difficult for Takumi Minamino to come in, and he came in. He did score 2 goals. I think it was in the first 3 games, but he didn't do a lot else. But because obviously he was scoring from midfield, you thought, he could add something to this team. But he was good in terms of scoring goals, but his overall play, not quite sure.
Do you think that it obviously because he signed in for Liverpool and he didn't really have much of an impact, but then at the start of this season he actually scored a few goals, scored in the Community Shield, scored a couple against Lincoln and against Arsenal. How do you think, he came into Liverpool and he's had sort of a similar impact to Southampton? Do you think it could be a running trend if Southampton do choose to sign him, that he might just have a good-ish start and then not really do much else?
Well, if you speak to the fan base, I think it's very mixed if they want Minamino back. I think Ralph Hasenhüttl, as I said, he's a big fan of him, and there is an option for him to have another loan. I don't think they'll sign him permanently. Southampton haven't got the funds to sign him permanently because what would it cost? Over 8, 9, 10 million more than that, maybe.
Probably plus. Yeah. If we know Liverpool don't do cheap deals, mate.
Southampton don't pay anything more than 10 million nowadays, so I think it'd be very difficult to buy him outright. But I think another loan is certainly something Southampton are keen for. But as I said, there's other positions that are more important at the moment. So I think Southampton could go for him. But for Minamino's sake, I think he'll be, obviously he'd add depth into that number 10 role for Ralph Hasenhüttl, but whether he's good enough for what Southampton fans want, because I know a lot of them, although they've not been in the stadiums, they've grown quite frustrated with him. And seeing him and Walcott both playing in the number 10 positions, getting into good positions, and then once again, final ball. That is the problem.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've got a lot of, as you said, you've got a lot of players in that position. If Minamino was to come on loan next season, would you expect him to start as regularly if he stays fit, or would you think he would prefer the likes of Redmond and Walcott?
I think there is certainly a place for Minamino in that starting lineup. I think if you look at a 2 number 10, Stuart Armstrong is a banker in there. He's going to be playing out. He has to play in that team, whether it's in centre midfield or in one of the number 2 10 positions. Sorry, Nathan Redmond. He's been there for 4 or 5 years. He's had one good year, you could say, but although that good year, he only scored 6 goals. So whether you want to say it's a good year or not, it's up to you. Musa Djenepo's there. Don't forget him. He's another one of them who flats to see. Theo Walcott, who's obviously signed, but he's more signed for the experience. I don't think he'll be starting many games. So for Minamino, if he was going to come alone, he certainly would get more game time at Southampton than obviously if he remained at Liverpool.
Yeah, from an outside perspective, obviously Liverpool looking to offload a few names this summer. Shaqiri has been heavily touted to move to Lazio, and Divock Origi, he has to go, blood. He has to go. But yeah, do you think maybe from an outside perspective that if he does come back to Liverpool, he could play some minutes if those players do leave?
Well, you obviously know more better than I do, but in terms of the front 3 positions, you think obviously Jota's in there now with Mane, Firmino, Salah. Could he get a game? Could he be a bench option? Could he, could Jurgen Klopp trust him in these important games? For example, say if Sadio Mane is injured or if Roberto Firmino is injured, do you see Jurgen Klopp going with Minamino to start in a Champions League group game? That's up to you. Do you?
It's a difficult one, isn't it, mate? And especially because we've got Harvey Elliott returning from Blackburn.
That's a good point.
He throws another spanner in the works. We still don't know what's happening with Harry Wilson, but to be honest, I can't wait for him to leave. So, but yeah, I love Minamino and the way that he plays. He has a smile on his face, and he seems like a nice fella. But that's not usually the metric you use for Premier League footballers, is it?
No, that's funny thing you should say, actually, because I spoke to a few guys at Southampton and they say, that Taki, lovely bloke. So, and we're the same with my Yoshida as well, obviously another Japanese international. So it just must be their culture and they're just so polite. But whether that translates to paying 9, 10, 11 million pounds for him because he's a nice bloke is something different.
If only the nice guy always won it.
I still be playing.
Yeah, exactly, man. But yeah, in terms of like a rating out of 10 of the likelihood Southampton sign him either on loan or permanently, how much do you think that there is a chance of it happening?
I say sign him on loan. I think it's a 6 out of 10. I think Southampton, it's probably not going to happen until the end of this window because I think Southampton will get their early business out of the way and see if they've got any more money left in the piggy bank, and then they might go for Minamino. But right now, I can't see, as I said before, him signing permanently. I think that's out of the question.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, thank you very much, Jacob, for joining us. If you are interested in more stuff to do with Jacob, where can we follow you, mate? On Twitter, J_Tanswell. Yeah, go check all of his amazing stuff out, and he's got some big news coming. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the transfer and get us to 1K. We're so close. We'll chat to you in the next video. Ta-da.